threw up. Okay, hold up. Married. I'm good. Hold on. Let me get some
Dan's
water.
been married once.
Let me get some water. Let me get some water.
Yeah.
I
That
was
was
married
enough.
once. Yeah, that was enough. No, my new girl's she's getting me there.
He believes in relationships, not contracts.
Yeah. If relationships are contracts. Don't do this, and I'll do this for you.
If they try to get married and they say at their wedding, does anyone have anything to say now or forever hold your peace? I might just get up and say, don't get married because marriage is dumb.
No, this guy's married. Don't yuck his yum.
Marriage
It's
is
good for now.
bad.
It's good.
Not everybody's built for marriage, but marriage is
No, I'm a little. She's got to talk me into it. This new one, so we'll see how that goes. But she's like, every woman wants you to become what you want to do with your life. They're like, yeah, you want to be a drummer, and as soon as you get in a band, they hate it. They're like, or you're playing drums and you're on stage, and that's how you met your girl, or and something, and then all of a sudden. She's like, you have another show? Oh my God, you do this all the time.
You care about those drums more than you care about me.
It's like, it's just how we met.
These drums were in my life before you ever were.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's how I've had experiences with women in the past. Hey, let's not go down the dark path. I want Judd here because Judd's a professional guitarist.
Nice.
Judd Rizzo, he's frontman and he's guitarist, and he's a bassist, and he does pretty much, he can play anything, and he understands a lot about the industry. So I wanted him to I wouldn't say grill you, but
Cool. Yeah,
so
I appreciate that.
I'm trying to like find comedy in this thing at the same time. So I'm like nice to meet you. First time. Are you the owner? Are you the
A co-founder.
Co-founder.
One of the two main owners. Yes, there's two of us, but yes.
Okay, cool. So one of the things I was going to ask you is like, you built this to help people, right? Created something, you've created AIDS. Is that?
AIDS, not like the virus.
Come on, I'm just throwing you off.
Right. I think
AIDS, musical
comedy
podcast
podcast.
in a kind of formal format, which is good. No, I know what you mean. I speak English. Yeah. No, as an aid, yes. As a tool, I use the word tool.
Yeah.
But as a tool to help. Yeah. Because
Okay.
man, it drives me freaking crazy seeing people's iPads in their faces. It drives me nuts, and that's why I stopped what I was doing to build this company.
Tori, I saw you on the internet, and you're a good looking dude. What are you, like 30, 40 years old?
Man, I'm older than I look, but I do get taken for Jake Gyllenhaal sometimes.
Jake Gyllenhaal. Okay, you heard it first, Raphael. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, of course I do. Yeah, turn me up in the mic. I can't hear myself.
Oh, I got to turn Raphael. I always turn him off. Let me see.
Yeah,
Let's try that again.
Hello.
Now?
No, I'm 47, but my
can't
brother.
myself. There you go. I can't myself
he looks
now.
like he's 30. Like I will legit, and we'll talk about this when you're recording. We'll get down with a gig, like I'm an 80s man, right? And there'll be some corporate event. We get down with a gig, and literally this cute 24-year-old girl walks up to my brother, and she's like wanting his number, and I'm like, he's old enough to be your dad, right?
Yeah, that's the best.
He hates it because he's married, family guy. Like he does have kids for raise and stuff. I'm just like, dude, But I was like, I thought I had the baby face, but
Yeah.
he's got much better than I do.
You're a good looking dude. So you've been in the audio industry for a long time.
Man, well, no, this is a startup. Been at it for 10 months.
Okay, 10 months. Oh, that's right. It said April of 24.
Yeah, we made our debut.
Look at me doing my research. April of 24
Our
was.
show, May of 2024. Last year, May. Yeah, we made our debut. Yeah.
All right. So we got Torrey Smith on the line, Raphael. We finally got his video turned off. I can actually. Judd Rizzo is walking in studio. He has, what do you have? 5 minutes. We say, you got 5 minutes to talk music. Go. And this poor guy. Have a seat. We got Torrey Smith on the line here.
I feel like I'm at a frat house.
Oh, it is. This is. I actually have two houses. This is my party house.
Nice.
Yeah, it's. I have.
You guys in the Baltimore area? Is that
Yes, we're in Parkville.
Cool.
We are in Parkville, Maryland. Enjoying not having a key bridge. No, that sucks. The key bridge went down. Where are you?
Not far from DFW Airport, actually. Really a suburb between Dallas and Fort Worth. But I just tell people.
I know the area. I've been to Texas. A little bit.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been to Texas, but
And I've been to Baltimore. Ended up near downtown. There's a Greyhound station. Got lost. And
Greyhound.
Scariest.
O'Donnell Street.
Moment in my life. It was. I was ghetto. I was. I was like, whoa, where am I? I took a wrong turn in Albuquerque and ended up in Baltimore. So, but yeah, no, I mean, it was good.
What was your memory? What was your finest memory of Baltimore?
Well, yeah. The not so finest was getting lost at the Greyhound station. It was a blip, because we were there to tour DC, and do that whole thing. But no, to be honest, nothing really stood out.
Yeah, that's good. That's probably good. I mean, I always talk about how the homeless men, one man specifically screams at the street for hours and hours and hours and hours, and it's just every day. That's what he does. We're going to get Judd Rizzo mic checked up. What's it say on your boom stand? Check. What number on the boom stand?
This is either a...
We got Judd Rizzo in studio.
Hey, Tori, we're going to talk about your...
He can't hear all that, but it sounds really good.
Why can't...
I screwed...
He can't hear that? We're going to talk about your awesome...
It's not you, Tori. I don't know how to use this shit. So Tori's we're being heard by Tori via... just the microphones on the laptop, I think. So he can totally hear you.
Great.
Yeah. So all good, man.
So
Judd, ask him what the hell this thing is.
No, so I watched a little of a video that Dan sent me on your product, and it looks pretty cool. I guess because
explain it to someone like my mother who may be listening, and I don't want to lose.
So I come from the audio video world, so I mean I understand that like if you take like the teleprompter like a newscaster would use, right? Like I'm very familiar with that. I've seen it a million times, and Ozzy used something like that on stage like a decade or more ago, and I was like, oh my God, that's awesome! Like it was down by his wedge on the stage, and it just had whatever the next lyric was, and I was like, man, that's awesome! Like,
okay, so what we're promoting here is literally, is it the box itself, or is it the pedal switch, or is it the entire kit?
Yeah, so I certainly don't want to make this a sales pitch by any stretch. It's all about I want to deliver value for your listeners. Okay.
Well, so Dan, I mean, we're all musicians here. We've all been on stage, and we've all been in cover bands and stuff.
We have like 13,000 listeners, and 3,000 of them are up in Canada. I don't know that they're all musicians.
But I mean, even forgetting that, I mean, from a non-musician standpoint, like if me and you are saying that, like to a musician, local,
Billy Bob,
regional, national, whatever.
Billy Bob,
if I was on stage,
Texas,
I would love this. Like, because sometimes when you're on stage, I'm like, you're like, oh shit, was that verse 2 or 3? Is this where my guitar solo is? Yeah. Is it just?
So let's let the man explain.
And I just need a quick cue. Like you don't need every single word. But like the beginning word of a phrase or a paragraph or whatever is good enough. But anyway, the first question is, I just want to understand like what the difference is between your system and like the classic TV newscaster teleprompter.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we'll certainly get into that. But I want to step back for just a second, guys, and talk about, okay, we talked about some of the pros using their teleprompters. You mentioned Ozzy, right? Yes. Ozzy, James Hetfield, Steven Tyler. You go to blackboxprompter.com/blog. There's an article that says 50 professional musicians you had no idea use a teleprompter, and all those guys are on that
list.
Like
Puddle of Mud is all sequenced.
It is a thing, and a lot of people don't realize that.
And
right?
Puddle of Mud was they were using an iPad when I saw them.
iPad,
iPod, whatever the hell that thing is.
Yeah, iPad, iPhone, doesn't matter. But yeah, and that's exactly why we built this company, which I'm going to totally kind of bring to surface here in a minute. But getting back to the pros using teleprompter. So here's the deal. A lot of folks think it's taboo. You're like, oh shit, man, if you're using a teleprompter, you're not a professional. But
we're not those guys.
Yeah, we're not those guys.
The pros have been using them since Elvis, right?
The conflict is. Yeah, people are thinking that, these guys are trying to cheat. That's not true. This is already happening.
People who have never performed on stage think it's cheating.
Anybody that thinks they're holier than thou, and they're like, no, you're not a pro. I'm like, dude, you don't know. You go back to your room in your corner and you played yourself or played with yourself, whatever it is.
Oh, man. This is Comedy Podcast.
Judd, right? Is Judd
the
one that was asking about it?
Judd.
Yeah, right on. So I want to address Judd's, question. What is it? Well, Dan, I think you were the one that asked kind of what it is.
I want everyone to. We're talking about some magical device nobody cares about, but like they have no clue.
Yeah, well. So I'm here to change that to where if you are a performing musician, right, or an actor, hell, you could be a newscaster in the freaking field doing a report from the side of a highway, but instead of using your phone, right, for a visual cue, instead of using an iPad for a lyric or a prompt, you have this thing that's out of sight, out of mind. It's on the floor. It's kind of buried in a way. It blends in with the floor. It's black Duratec speaker paint. Like, the audience has no idea it's there, okay? So first and foremost, I'm doing it to hide the fact you're using a fucking teleprompter in your face.
I'm on the pro side of this thing right away. I mean, I love the idea of this because it's like Dan saw
having
me.
Control.
Dan has seen me one night when, because normally I'm a
He's
guitar
up on
player.
stage. He couldn't remember some words.
Well, no. No, not that. No, that normally, like, I'm a guitar player, and Dan has seen it where a buddy of ours has asked me to sing, like, this weekend. He'll be like, "Hey, dude, can you just help me out?
Can you learn 43 songs in 10 minutes?"
He was like, "Can you just do like 10 songs with us? They're cover tunes, you know 'em, man." And then it turned into 12 or 14 or whatever, and I was terrified that I was going to forget.
I was a nightmare too. I had the same thing happen. I had 1 week and I got the flu in the beginning of the week.
I wrote out all the lyrics.
I had no time to practice anything, and I had to show.
Yeah, and on the way to the show, like, I'm listening to the songs, and I knew them. There's like Godsmack songs and Rob Zombie and stuff like that, right? And I'm listening to it over and over and over and over and over again for a week, and I'm like reading the lyrics in the car like 5 minutes before I walk in the place, and I was freaked out that I was going to forget the lyrics on stage and stuff. And I was just losing my mind completely. And so if I knew that I had something that, oh my God, if I just look over, oh yeah, I'm on verse 2 and it begins with the word them or whatever.
I bet you it's not battery powered either.
I would have been fine.
Is it battery powered or you plug it in the wall, right?
Well, I mean, right now you plug it in the wall, but you can buy like a battery unit.
I don't think anybody would want a battery. That's the first thing on stage that goes is the batteries.
Yeah.
I think the average person, like anybody who says they think this is cheating or they don't like it or whatever, they're immediately comparing it to
they don't
karaoke. They're thinking that that there's a band instead of a CD, there's a band playing. And you're just reading, and you're reading every single word, and that's not what it is. This crap
has happened since 1600. They write down on paper. This is like writing it down and being able to switch your papers with your feet, right?
Yeah. I was just saying. No. It's funny. Just the 1600s. I actually have to. I'm going to send this to you guys for the show notes. But I actually have like an infographic that shows like literally gestures with scrolls showing, like basically the evolution.
Oh, that's great.
And so it's funny you brought that up. But no, you're exactly right, Judd. The whole deal is like there's no shame in leaning on a prompter, for a visual cue. Where there is shame is if you didn't do your homework and you're glued to it. Right. You don't look up from it. That's where there is shame.
Of course,
you got it. Yeah. We're talking about just an occasional glance, not being glued.
Yes.
And you're able to change the keys by hitting the button twice or something.
Oh, and you don't have to talk about this second because I don't want to derail you, but please don't let me forget because I saw in the video something about chords and stuff like that. So that this is more than just the lyrics and whatever, that it's chords and other things. So just please, at some point, let's touch on that.
It's the entire song.
So I'm gonna step another step back. Okay, so let me give you guys a little bit of a taste of how I came up with this idea. And what's different? What's unique? Why now? How is it different than what's out there? Okay. Well, Judd, your question earlier was, teleprompter's been around a long time, and true. Your newscast, they have their teleprompter, and typically it's a basic screen. I think there's a mirror involved, and it's attached to the computer.
The old school way of doing it is when you had tube TVs, right? Uh-huh. You had a tube TV essentially, and pointing up, and then there was a mirror in front of the camera at a 45-degree angle. And so the TV would be reflected in that upside down. And
I had a little pocket TV like that once.
And the newscaster would see it right side up.
Flipped open like a 45.
And so the camera's actually shooting through that mirror.
You watch it on the mirror.
That's how I'm sure, Tori, I'm sure you know that and you've seen this and whatever, but in your research before you came up with whatever you got. But that's the way, for people who don't know how a teleprompter works or what it used to be, that's what it was.
Judd, I'm a professional photographer for music venues, and I've shot at the Howard Theater in D.C., and I was shooting for Courtney Love. When she came to D.C. one time, and she had a prompter on the ground. I could see it, like monitors.
Yeah.
You're going to send me the upshots, right?
No, I probably could.
Yeah, that's what they were shooting all the upskirts
Courtney
through.
Love.
I was shooting angles. I was up on the second level, and I was shooting down, trying to get the her aspect of the crowd. And there it is. I could see the monitor, blue screen with the words, and I'm like, she wasn't reading it. She wasn't like glued to
it's
it.
just there.
Yeah,
But
of
she
course
definitely looked at it.
If
and,
Elvis had that, if Elvis would have been way better. He couldn't remember his shit.
It was surprising.
Well, imagine.
I've seen notes. I've seen like notes on the ground, like songs on the ground.
Oh yeah, they always tape stuff.
Oh, yeah,
to
always
the
have
floor.
a
That's not
set
the
list like that.
But to see a monitor on the ground, kind of like an angle facing up at her, I've never seen it before. And man. Just mentioned it.
Yeah, on one of the Ozzy DVDs I have from 20 years ago or something. I don't know if it was. I think it was before Ozzy at Budokan. I think it was the one way back when Zakk Wylde was on it or whatever, which is 25 years ago or whatever. And there were and I saw that and I was like, oh my god, that's freaking genius. I mean, as a performer,
and the drummer's back there like a monkey, like, dude, I don't know where I am. The drummer has nothing.
I never
ever.
for a second thought, what the hell? He doesn't know his own lyrics. I mean, how many times have you sung Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath? I mean, what the fuck, man?
All right, so this guy's dying to tell us, Judd.
I never thought that.
Let him get it out.
Yeah.
So, what makes yours different than the ones we just mentioned?
Yeah. Well, okay. So this one, you as a musician are in full control, right? You load your songs, you put the chords on. If you're not a guitarist, that's fine. You can have just lyrics. It doesn't matter. You can, if you have chords, great. You even have an option to hide the chords, okay? Because you can do multiple boxes. You can synchronize multiple boxes. Maybe your bass player needs a box, the singer needs a box, the lead guitar player needs a box. They can have all the boxes, and they can all be synced together. And so that's kind of a unique feature, to have them all kind of wirelessly synced together, which is pretty cool. The transposing feature, I think you guys were alluding to earlier, right? So again, any guitar players listening, right? Maybe there's different fingering on, because you need a capo and you don't want to sound exactly like the other guitar player, right? And so, you can kind of muck with the chords and have them all auto transposed. Or maybe your singer's like, dude, I can't sing that high. Bring it down half a step. Bring it down a whole step.
Yeah, so every band member having to pull their crap out and transpose it.
It does that on the fly, and there's outside of an iPad. I haven't yet to find a teleprompter that has intelligence built in. So here's the deal, guys. What's really cool about it, there's a computer inside. It's not just a dumb monitor, okay? There's a Raspberry Pi computer inside. For you nerds out there, that's a pretty little power. It's about the size of a credit card, right? It's based on a Linux operating system. But
we just bought one for the drones the other day.
Right on. The guy that built the software is my business partner. He was ranked one of the top 50 IoT engineers in the world. He has patents on the Tomahawk cruise missile. He has patents that GE now owns, Google now owns.
What's IoT, real quick?
Internet of Things. That's when machines talk to machines. So when your Alexa, controls the lights of your entire house, that's called IoT.
I have Google. I'm sorry, I can't.
So same thing with Google. Yeah,
I can't talk about.
It's a fancy way of calling Internet of Things, but basically it's when your machines are talking to machines and all the technology behind that. But anyway, he's ranked one of the top engineers in the world, and he's also a drummer. And he came out to one of my shows about 10 months ago, and I showed him what my brother's a singer of my bands, right? I showed him what my brother was using. And guys, I'm not making this up. Literally, my brother, he didn't want to be that guy caught with an iPad in his face. He went to his garage, pulled out a shipping box from Amazon, cut it out, covered it with black duct tape.
Nice.
Set it on the floor, put his iPad inside of it at an angle, and used this Bluetooth, page turner pedal thing. And that became his poor man's teleprompter.
Very nice.
And so I show this guy who later becomes my business. I show him, like, dude, this is what my brother's using because he didn't want to be that guy. He's like, oh my God, just this past week I tripped over one that was from the UK and it was really clunky and all it shows was JPEGs and I hated it. And I was like, dude, if we could build a better version of this, I would sell it like a motherfucker.
So theirs was a JPEG flipper.
Correct. Theirs was a JPEG flipper. Ours is much more intelligent than that, and we'll get into some of those details too. But anyway, the very next day, this guy, I'm just going to call him the mad scientist. Okay, I kind of keep him because he is kind of my secret sauce. Okay, but the mad scientist, the very next day, was sketching on the back of a napkin what this thing would look like. He ended up getting a CNC router machine, started cutting out the wood. Then he started programming all this stuff. And a month later, we were debuting at the Guitar Festival in Dallas, one of the most popular booths at the show. They came out, they're like, holy shit. Like Ted Nugent's guitar player, Derek St. Holmes was there. Judd, you might know Gary Hoey. He's a famous.
Yeah. No, I know all the names you're saying.
Guitar player.
Yeah. Of course, Judd knows him because I call Judd. I'm like, who the hell is this? And he's.
They were just like blown away. Like, this is the coolest thing. We want one. And so many people, the pattern, the messaging that I kept getting from people was like, dude, it's about time. It's about time. And it was validation, because we were literally a month old when we debuted at the guitar show. And so we're still very young. We're not even a year old yet. Sorry, it's a simple foot pedal. This has been around. It's a company out of Jersey. It was made for transcriptionists and some other people, court reporters and whatnot. And it's just 3 pedals. It's like boom, left, right, center, and boom. So
okay.
Go back, select, and go to the next page.
I watched some of your tutorial. You did a great job. The way that you promoted this product on how to use it, the how-to was.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, it was nice. It wasn't like you do this to do that. You do this to do that. It was like personalized.
So what do you use?
It wasn't boring to watch.
As I'm looking at you now, what do you use as the screen?
All right. So what we're looking at here, guys, this is a 24-inch monitor with a shatterproof polycarbonate shield. Okay. So we had somebody's mic stand fall on this the other day, and it just bounced right off.
You have no idea. I mean, how many people have fallen into my drum set? I mean,
I believe it.
It's in the dozen at least, and you remember every single. I'm like, God damn it!
Of the 9 dudes
or 3, I'm sorry,
they'll go through 3 or 4 of those
at least. But it's real rugged, guys. It's real sturdy. I mean, it's Baltic birch plywood, which is one of the strongest types of plywood. It's made of speaker pane. I think I mentioned. It's got magnets here in the corner because we put a hardcover thing, a magnetic cover on it to protect the screen. Now, it's not touchscreen because that would defeat the purpose, right? That's what iPads are for. So this sits on the floor, right? So from the audience, imagine the back of it. All the audience sees is literally a black box.
It just looks like a wedge.
Looks like a speaker wedge. Exactly. So
it does. Okay. So it's a speaker wedge. And if you don't know what that is, you don't need to know what it is. If you already don't know what a speaker wedge is.
It's a speaker on the floor.
It's a speaker on the floor that's at an angle.
That's aimed at the musicians.
It's aimed at the musicians. And it's like, let's say Gladys Knight's up there playing her thing. She has in-ear monitors, so you wouldn't see these. But then you would see this down there and think it was a regular speaker.
Yes.
It's a very normal stage attire. Stage,
right?
Whatever.
Anybody would just look at that.
But what makes us different than what's out there, right? So then the JPEG guy or whatever.
JPEG flipper.
So yeah, we call this the smart prompter. So what do we mean by that? Well, first of all, it's got Wi-Fi. You connect it to your hotspot or your Wi-Fi. Doesn't matter. It has internet. You can go to YouTube. You could run poor man's karaoke. What do I mean by that? There's actually a headphone jack. You could connect a speaker to this thing and literally pull up YouTube and pull up karaoke, and you could have instant karaoke if you wanted to.
Oh, I should have brought DJ Boda. We got a karaoke guy.
Man, that's a whole different use case. But what's really cool, it's got internet access. You got a browser on here. You could pull up Ultimate Guitar. Just probably never heard of Ultimate Guitar before.
I've played it.
You can pull up Ultimate Guitar because you get a request, right? And maybe you don't have the song already preloaded on your box, so then you pull up Ultimate Guitar, boom, you can get it, and you're off to the races. So it's got some really, really cool features in here that just don't exist anywhere else. Now,
isn't Ultimate Guitar? Hold up, Ultimate Guitar wasn't it an Android? No, it wasn't.
You get tabs from
it.
it.
It's just a website.
Ultimate Guitar tab site. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you get tabs from it.
I was thinking of Guitar Hero.
It's not. Yeah, it's not a game.
You can't play.
It's not a game.
That's horse crap. I can't play Guitar Hero on this.
Well, you could apparently.
I could.
No, I'm just kidding.
Probably could.
It's a monitor.
So, what? Out of curiosity, so what kind of? Tell me about the screen a little bit. Like, are the words projected on that thing, or is it just a thin LCD LED?
Well, yeah.
What is it?
I know your listeners can't see it, but I'll illustrate with my words, right? So, what we're looking at, guys, this is a 24-inch computer monitor, okay, encased in this really nice black cabinet that's really, really rugged. Now, the motherboard's inside, so all the tech is inside. You don't have to download software. You plug it in, boom, it's there. Now, you do have to transfer your songs through a
there's some back work to it. It's just like Cakewalk, and
it's not hard, but we made it super simple. But
anybody using any kind of prompting system is going to. Yeah. You got some bullcrap that goes
a little bit, but we really kind of simplified it, because we have 75-year-old people using this and they are not computer savvy, and so I'm like, open up Notepad, and they're like, open up what? I've got a binder with paper. Like, shit. Okay.
Yeah, Judd, 78, Judd, isn't that? Aren't you almost there?
That's a couple years away.
Judd, I've known Judd, this guitar player I played with when I was like 19. He was, how old were you at that point? 30?
I don't know, 37.
He gets older every year. It's ridiculous.
I'm just kidding.
He's so freaking old. Anyway.
Yeah, I need a hip replacement right now.
Yeah, he's got a hip replacement. My buddy, like we used to, hey man, we're going to go supboarding. We're going to go surfing.
Hey, I wanted to go snowboarding
now
this
he's
past
like 70
weekend.
years old. You said, we got 70-year-olds.
I'm going snowboarding this coming weekend.
You're going to break another hip. My God.
You're 70?
But,
He's not 70. What are you, John? You got to be over
54.
50.
Okay.
Jesus,
All right.
man.
Go for 70.
So, no, I'm 42. I don't feel like I'm 42.
Oh my God, you're a sexy.
look, I was
42.
gonna guess like 37. So
That's good. That's because the lighting is low. I can't see the bags under my eyes.
yeah, same here. Yeah.
So well, no, dude, I think this product is. I mean, I think it's really interesting so far. Now,
Promoting Black Box Prompter. I've been tasked with podcast. Thank you for being on. We're not done. But like, this is where you are. You're listening to a podcast. I feel earlier I was like, what is this thing? I'm like, is it like on Wayne's World where they're like the Floby, like the suck cut? It certainly does suck, but no, this is a great product, and
out there,
he was going to send
seriously,
me one.
This thing, anything like this, and this product as well. It's a cool thing. It's a
Tori was going to
godsend.
send me
This is
one, and
stuff-
I said, don't worry about it. I'm a drummer, right? The drummers.
If you're in the LA area, not north of LA, because you're going to be swallowed up by the fires. But if you're south of LA, in the Anaheim area, come out to NAMM. It's the Super Bowl for music merchants, man.
And that's what date is that?
That is the exhibit hall is next Thursday. So what is that? I think it's the 23rd through the 25th. Runs Thursday through Saturday of January, right? January 23rd through the 25th, if I'm not mistaken.
2025.
Of 2025, yes.
Yeah, that's a very important spot.
Let's because we don't know when you're listening to this. So yeah, good call.
Yeah.
everything.
So I'm going to go to our email.
You're turning gay on me if you're real quick.
Oh yeah, no,
That ship has sailed.
Yeah, that ship is sailed. No, that's Connor. Our I have a 23-year-old or whatever that comes on the podcast, and it's all just gay jokes. I'm like, God, dude, I can't use any of that shit. Oh my God. So I'm looking for the email that you just sent that had all this stuff.
No, so Tori, back to your product here real quick. So when you mentioned Ultimate Guitar, it made me think of like I've downloaded tabs from that. I've downloaded tabs from a couple other sites and stuff and trying to learn cover tunes and whatever. Because like I know all the scales and chords and all that stuff, and I can just like, oh, what key are we in? Okay,
yeah, you can figure it out pretty quickly. You're a seasoned pro.
But
most people can't.
If I want to learn a cover song by ear, like that would take me forever because I just don't do it a lot. And so like I've downloaded all these tabs and all this garbage, and I have a program called Guitar Pro, which I think it's Guitar Pro.
It is Guitar Pro. I use the same thing. It's great. You can slow down. You can slow down.
And it plays the horrible sounding MIDI, but you see the notes and the tab.
But they have the RSE, the realistic sound engine. Is that what it's called? The RSE? Yeah. Anyway. I'm geeking out for a second, but I know what you mean.
And I think I thought that program was awesome, and I'm like, oh man, this is killer. And I think for anybody who can deal with reading tab and wants to learn how to read actual music notation, I think it's great because you see both going by at the same time, right?
Exactly.
And you hear it, and you can slow it down. You can stop it on,
great.
So, but your product and just you talking about, oh yeah, you can see the chords and stuff going by. I was thinking about for people who can sight read, jazz guys who are up on stage playing, whatever's out of the fake book and whatever. And for people who, non-musicians, the fake book is like the Bible of
Absolutely.
jazz.
So I got a story about the fake book, right? So let me tell you what happened in the early days of Black Box Prompter, okay? So we were all about, hey, basic text, basic chords, right? But we had a jazz musician that had a fake book. He had fake books, he had some real books, and he was about to say, dude, I need to return it because I'm a jazz musician. I need to read PDF files. I need to read these entire catalogs of these books, and all you're sending me are just basic text files. And I am not kidding, guys. Within 48 hours, my business partner, the brainiac, right, the mad scientist, he coded around the clock, and he made it to where he could support the PDFs, the sheet music, and the fake books. Wow. And this guy's one of the happiest campers. Pretty cool. Okay. So you can read sheet music. It's just basic PDFs basically, and you can organize them and whatnot. But fake books and there's something called real books, right? Which I think is sort of the same thing. But yes, all the jazz guys with the big, all the fancy musical notation and everything in between. Yeah, it supports all that as well.
Or like, I mean, piano players for years. I mean, if you got up on stage in a band, I mean, there's a lot of piano players like church and whatever, right? And they have sheet music in front of them, and you literally see them lick their finger and flip the page and stuff like that, and nobody gives a shit. it's okay because you're sitting there, you're sitting already, and you're at a piano, and you're sort of sitting in the background.
Yeah,
you're not the dude up front with throwing horns in someone's face, and holding your guitar in someone's face as you're doing.
You're not David Lee Roth trying to do splits. And
so you can't, So I get why people, think that it's going to hurt the show in some way or whatever. I'm like, but even David Lee Roth, I could see him like right before he does this, his split kick or whatever. He looks down, he goes, "Oh yeah, that's the next verse. Okay, cool. Here, and the guitar solo is coming up or whatever."
I wonder if Elton John does have like horns when he's playing on a guitar.
Yeah, John. Oh, I've seen John.
I've never seen Elton John.
I've seen Elton John throw his horns up all the time, man.
So
before I go into Dan's antics, I love that word antic. Before I dive into the antics, Judd, was there anything else I can share with you about the wonderful Black Box Prompter?
Oh, the Black Box Prompter available on Amazon,
BlackBoxPrompter.com, and Amazon.
Is it actually? I made that up.
eBay, all the above. Yes.
Very cool.
Yep. But go to the website. The website's the best. You get the best deal on the website.
Black Box Prompter. Mention that I've been tasked with podcast, and that's all. Just mention them.
No discount. No discount.
Tell them they should be.
We didn't go over that.
Oh
no,
God,
actually, you know what, Dan? I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to do you a solid, guys. So if you're listening and you're like, this is kind of cool, I think I want one, punch in the promo code TASK, TASK.
Nice.
All right?
Promo code TASK.
And promo code TASK, and you'll get 10% off.
Nice.
And if you're in the U.S., not including Alaska and Hawaii, but if you're in the U.S., you get free shipping.
Free shipping. Yep. And if you give him $1,000, he brings it to your house if you're in the U.S.
No, that's not true because I'd still lose money on that.
Oh, really? It might.
Unless you're in Dallas.
There we go. There you go.
Outside of Dallas, you're
there you go.
He's going to get $1,000 tip, and they're going to be in Fort Worth or something.
So one last question, then we can talk about whatever you want. So I heard somewhere in the conversation you mentioned your buddy coding for PDFs, and so I was like, so now I'm thinking, oh well, if you can do a PDF, then a PDF is a PDF is a PDF. So you can, as long as you can page forward, backward, whatever through a PDF, you can essentially just display anything on that screen.
It's true.
A picture of anything.
It's.
I could put tits on your prompter. I could have tits pop up on the screen.
You could. So on that note, no, we actually have, like when you turn it on, we have what we call a splash page or your startup page. It could be your band's logo, right? It could be whatever the hell you want. You could add several photos and then you cherry pick which one you want to show.
I would draw dick and balls on it.
Now,
of course you would.
I would.
Yeah, but if you want that Playboy model with the double D's, you can do that.
Nice,
whatever
nice.
you want, right?
Not made for that, but it will work.
It'd be so great to fuck. Oh my God, this is like bandmates are going to fuck with each other so bad with this.
Oh yeah.
Exactly what Dan said. Like,
dick and balls the whole time.
Like I would have just my screensaver would be like Playboy models or something.
It's going to be something horrible.
And it would come up and it'd be like all guys and stuff. And like, yeah, exactly. You'd have to do that to your bass player.
Yeah. But no, we added that feature because when you're on break, maybe you don't want people leaning over knowing that you're looking at a lyrics prompter. Maybe, so then you could flip it to your startup page.
Or a tree or like nature stuff or whatever.
Yeah, and make
just
it a part of the
says, stop looking at my shit.
What are you looking at this for? That's
go back to your seat.
Yeah, go sit down. Get off the stage. You don't say get off the stage.
Stop looking at my stuff.
But Dan, I do want to go into the $1,000 tip in this. But before I do, there's one more feature.
Oh my Christ on a stick!
One more.
This guy.
I don't know why I turned into like radio now.
I'm charging him $35.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Don't say this can't be true. This thing does something else.
$35.
All over there.
Whatever. I'll send him the bill. No, go ahead. What you got?
But no. So we're about, and I didn't know we were going to have this in time for NAMM next week, but I talked to my business partner today. He's like, yeah. And this guy's so brilliant. He speaks like 90 miles an hour. I'm just like, yeah, okay, yeah. It's like I'm that old man in the 30 mile an hour lane trying to keep up with his 90 mile an hour speech. He talks so fast. I love you, man. I love you. If you're listening to this podcast, my mad scientist, I love you. I'm not just
bad scientist. Programmer.
He's uber genius. He doesn't like to be called genius because his IQ level is above genius. So calling him genius is an insult. That's how smart this guy is. I can't make that up. That's a thing. I had no idea.
Oh my God.
But anyway, but no. We're about to, and I'll go ahead. You
different
guys
level.
Insider training. We're about to launch a brand new feature called Sing Along. Now, Sing Along is really cool. This doesn't exist anywhere, guys. As an audience member, right? I could scan a QR code. I could pull up the lyrics on my phone in real time. The same lyrics that you see on stage.
Ooh.
That's pretty cool.
I
I
want
can
that
see
for
as
my
an audience
car,
member.
so when I'm riding down the road, I can, I want a prompter for my car so I can
That's
sing.
actually, yeah, that's
They're
actually pretty
singing
cool.
along. They're having a great time. And so again, nobody's doing that right now. So we're gonna launch that. We thought that was a pretty cool feature as
Yeah,
well.
and it'll
They don't
be-
have to search for it. It just comes right up.
It'll be on in time because you're playing with,
So,
right? It'll be in
we're-
sync. That's
It's not
the,
a bad idea because, like, remember, like we just saw Exodus live, and like,
Oh my God, it was a nightmare. It was horrible.
And so I know Exodus.
Jesus
I know
God, that was.
I know their stuff.
I'm like,
Well,
yeah,
the
this is
sound-
great. I'm going to be all the way in the back with earplugs in. And then I was in the mosh pit.
So
Having
Dan,
fun.
so Dan and I have gone to a couple shows in the last few years at Baltimore Arena, and I got to tell you, they have stepped up the sound
the
and
sound
lights
quality
and
is
everything
phenomenal.
at Baltimore Arena kicks ass.
We were not
It's
seeing Exodus in
amazing.
Baltimore Arena.
No, we
we
did
were
not.
at Baltimore Soundstage.
Yeah.
It's a different
It
experience.
was a different experience. The sound was terrible.
It was
And-
horrifying.
and-
I mean, they played music. I heard it.
there were notes.
There were there?
There were notes to be
Who
had.
could tell with all the
And there were
just
drum beat-
chaos,
there
just
were drum
flame.
beats.
It's
That's
just
soundstage, I know. Yeah, that's
Jesus.
my venue. That's where I
There were
work.
drum beats
it's just
and
not,
things
it's
happening.
not a nice show.
Anyway.
It's just not a nice
Anyway,
show.
no. But the point was that, like, I went. So I'm a huge Exodus fan, but I went with like Dan and my buddy Mark, who are don't know all their shit inside and out like I do, and like
My
so,
ass. Mark owns a studio. What do you mean?
No. He
Oh,
doesn't
you
know
mean the
Exodus.
song?
He
I
doesn't
was
know-
going to say
yeah,
Mark
he
knows
doesn't
more
know-
shit than you do.
No. He doesn't
about
know
music.
Exodus and whatever. He knows
owns
more than I do about
3-level
recording stuff.
studio in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But no, what I was saying is just so, like, people who, when you go to a show, like if my kid was a girl and loved Taylor Swift and I went to a Taylor Swift show and I'm bored out of my fucking mind, if I can see on
yeah,
my
you're right.
phone
If I could have seen
the
what
lyrics
the lyrics
coming up,
were, give me something to do.
it would
yeah, exactly.
it would hook
Yeah.
me into the show
QR
a
code's
little
a great
bit
idea.
more, and
It's all
that's what
about
I was trying to get
engagement.
to.
Judd,
Yeah,
you're
that's
exactly
actually-
right, man.
that's-
It engages them on a whole other level where they've never been engaged.
It's not
before.
for the super fan who knows all the fucking words. It's for the dad of the super fan
Tori-
who's
Tori,
trying to
hold
live
up.
through the show.
Tori from Texas, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you just said the word engaged. How many times have you been engaged?
Engaged, like married?
Uh huh.
Just once.
Just once?
Tori, I don't
One
know
and
how
done, man.
I don't know
One
how
and done.
Dan
Still
comes up
married
with this
to-
stuff. By the way,
Just a question. He's married. He's a married man. How long have you been married?
No. I married my college sweetheart, man. This beautiful,
nice.
hot, curly-headed blonde girl that I thought was going to be a one-night stand, and next thing you know, we got married.
Oh,
So
that's
that's a whole
nice.
other story for another day. But that's how it goes.
Congratulations.
But
Nice.
I do have but you saw I do have a story about her. How she almost whipped the shit out of somebody.
Nice.
Did you see
Give
that
it.
in
Give,
Antic?
this is let's call it an antic. I'm tasking Tori Smith to tell us a good story from the road or his life.
Oh man. Okay. So let me set the stage.
You've
guys,
been
right?
tasked
So-
with.
I've been tasked with, man, I wear a lot of hats. I'm not just the co-founder of Black Box Prompter. I'm also, I also manage two pretty successful cover bands in the Dallas area. One is an 80s band, top 40 shit, right? Don't Stop Believin', Purple Rain, all the bangers,
Love
right,
it.
from the 80s.
Love it.
And then I got a 90s country band as well, because, hell, we're in Texas, and we're all faking it, right? We're all rockers at heart, but hey, we're in
90s
Texas,
country
so
rock or country?
We go, well, both. I mean, we'll do country rock, but then you're going to hear us do, like, Brooks and Dunn, Toby Keith, Dwight Yoakam, all those guys, right?
Achy
Yeah.
breaky heart.
And my
Achy
brother's the
breaky.
singer.
They don't play achy breaky. Tori, you don't play achy breaky, do you?
We're a 90s country band, Dan. What do you think?
Oh.
Hell yes, we play achy breaky.
That's so gross.
And it's so bad.
Well, wait, Tori, are you the manager
I always,
and you're in
guys,
the
I always
band,
warn
or-
the audience, I'm like, guys, we're reaching down in the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah,
Get
you're
your
like, I'm
mullets out.
sorry.
We're reaching
Your
down
mullets
the
out,
bottom
and
of the barrel.
I'm
And
sorry.
They love it. They love it, man. They eat it up, dude. It's as bad as playing Don't Stop Believing every weekend.
It's Sweet Home Alabama at the end.
Yeah. You want to make me throw up my mouth for a little bit. But
Then you turn it into a, what do you call it? When you throw 15 songs into one compilation.
a mashup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whenever I'm playing all kinds of, whenever I'm, go ahead.
But where was I going with this? Oh, yeah. So, all right. So my brother is the singer, great man, and talented vocalist, dude. He kind of misses calling. He should have made it big. Anyway, the dude, he looks like he's 30. He's really 50, right? I think I covered that earlier. And where the hell was I going? Oh, yeah, this happened a
wife.
few months ago.
Beat
This
the
happened a few
crap
months
out
ago.
or something.
So my wife, now my wife looks, she probably looks like she's in her 30s, right? She doesn't look that old. I mean, she's, I don't know, mid 40s or whatever. But cute, blonde-headed girl, right? Curly hair. And she's recording with her iPhone. She's recording the band, and this woman, and I think she had a few drinks under her. She walks up to my wife, and she's like, "So why are you recording the band? Are you that singer's mom?"
Oh shit!
She's like, "What, bitch?" You know, she was about to get her, her Irish, was about to just come out of her. And I think some of the friends had to pull her away, but she was pissed. She's like, dude, that singer's older than I am. What the fuck do you mean am I his mom?
Yeah, that's horrible. That's good.
So that was one antic, but that really happened. But dude, in the cover band scene, it's so fun. You get all walks of life, man. You get the swingers. You get.
My favorite one's playing for the bachelorette parties.
Yeah.
I've had a woman walk up on stage. And she was wearing a skirt, and they let her up on stage because I guess she might have been good looking. I have a girlfriend now, so I don't see other women. I can't remember anything about her.
Sure.
But from what I remember, I'm playing drums.
Yes, in case your girlfriend's listening right now.
Yeah. She can't make it.
That's why
she can't make it 20 minutes.
I don't know what she looks like. I'm blind to other women.
I'm blind to other women. Yeah. So anyway, so I'm playing something, some 311 song or whatever it was, some hard rock song. And she comes up, and I had a drum rack around my drums. And she comes up, puts one leg up on my drums, pulls her skirt up, and starts, playing. Doing her own DJ diddles. Okay. My own little show.
As you do.
And I'm like, how am I supposed to play drums with this happening? And I enjoyed it. From what I remember, the story being written with the girlfriend disclaimer. Huh? What'd you say? I'm not
drinking. I'm sorry. I was like, what did it smell like?
Redacted. Yeah, that's a good one. Good, nice story. Yeah, I love editing these because I take out all the best jokes. What does it smell like? What's it smell like?
The whiskey's finally hitting, man.
That's good stuff.
90 proof whiskey is finally hitting. Yeah.
I have no beer, no whiskey. I had to throw all this together because
thank God I had a coffee before I left the house. I was going to tease you and be like, dude, you're going to have coffee ready?
I'm over here flying wires around, and I'm I'm never going to get this set up. And it wasn't set up right.
The wife was in the kitchen, before I left, so I didn't pour a big thermos of whiskey or wine or anything.
Yeah, your wife doesn't listen either. Your wife loves you drinking.
Oh yeah.
She said.
Oh yeah. She's
anyway,
a big fan of alcohol.
My girl's probably got 2 shots sitting on the counter, waiting for after the podcast.
Nice.
One for me, one for her.
That's a woman right there.
Oh, she's great.
Hello, woman. Yeah.
We've talked about Lauren on the podcast before.
I'm a little jealous. I have to pour my own shots of whiskey.
She'll be standing there with a glass of Cavassier.
It's not like that. It's just
in her robe with his robe in her hand. This
will be like I actually got Bacardi. She's like, Bacardi, you're not black. And I'm like,
well, Jesus.
What?
Whoa.
Can I say that? I can't say that.
Wow.
She's a bartender.
Yeah, she's a bartender, that's for sure.
You can tell. Yeah, I'm probably going to release it.
My buddy used to drink the white Bacardi and Diet Coke. It tastes awful.
I like Bacardi and Sprite. That's my drink. And
Jesus.
Anyway, so my story's over. So I just the whole women coming up on. I had a woman lick the side of my face while I was playing drums before, and I'm like, I am sweaty. I changed my shirt in between sets.
That's how Tommy Lee and Pam. I'm not kidding. This is the story. That's how Tommy Lee and Pam Anderson got together. She literally walked up to him in some club and licked his face.
Oh wow!
And that's what started them.
Holy hell!
Well, you got to think about that. It's a very intimate environment.
It's pretty intimate.
I mean,
that was a sign, dude.
This wasn't Pamela Anderson. I could tell you that.
You guys could have been married by now.
I almost threw up. Okay, hold up. Married. I'm good. Hold on. Let me get some.
Dan's
water.
Been married once.
Let me get some water. Let me get some water.
Yeah.
I was married once. Yeah, that was enough. No, my new girl's. She's getting me there.
He believes in relationships, not contracts.
Yeah. If relationships are contracts. Don't do this, and I'll do this for you.
If they try to get married and they say at their wedding, does anyone have anything to say now or forever hold your peace? I might just get up and say, don't get married because marriage is dumb.
No, this guy's married. Don't yuck his yum.
Marriage is
good for now.
Bad.
It's good.
Not everybody's built for marriage, but marriage is okay.
No, I'm a little. She's got to talk me into it. This new one, so we'll see how that goes. Every woman wants you to become what you want to do with your life. They're like, yeah, you want to be a drummer, and as soon as you get in a band, they hate it. you're playing drums and you're on stage and that's how you met your girl or, you know, in something. And then all of a sudden she's like, you have another show? Oh my God, you do this all the time.
You care about those drums more than you care about me.
It's like, bitch, this is how we met.
These drums were in my life before you ever were.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's how I've had experiences with women in the past. Hey, let's not go down the dark path. Tori.
Huh?
Yeah, man.
So give me another. Whom you said earlier in this podcast? So I don't think we're recording yet. You said something about other famous musicians that are using this already.
Oh man, yeah. No, I mentioned.
You mentioned people that are using the other ones. This is new. This is a very new product. I didn't.
It's a very new product. Yeah, I don't have.
So I'll
a lot of
redact my
experience.
question. I don't want to.
No. I mean, like the guy that used to play guitar for Ted Nugent back in the day. He was the one credited for playing Stranglehold. Derek St. Holmes is his name. Judd, I'm sure, knows who that is. Great singer, hell of a guitar player. He was an early adopter, so he's using it. I did talk to. I don't know if you guys know anything about rap, but do you guys know a rapper? He's out of Houston by the name of Paul Wall.
Yeah.
Paul Wall.
Of course. My EDR expert.
EDM.
Whatever the hell it
Paul
is. He shows up on my boats playing this horse shit. I'm like, what are we in fucking Sweden?
He does lots of music.
So
Jesus.
I don't listen to a lot of, for full disclosure, I'm more of a rock guy. I don't listen to a lot of rap. But as fate would have it, about 2 or 3 months ago, my kid's golf coach, he's at the freaking Red Bull F1 race championship down in Houston, and he knew about my startup. And he calls me up on a Saturday morning. He said, "Hey, Tori, what you doing?" I'm like, "This is weird. Am I late for a golf lesson? What's going on?" He goes, "I'm sitting here with Paul Wall right now. I just overheard him talk about how he's kind of jealous that Snoop has a teleprompter and he doesn't."
Nice.
So I'm like, "Wait, what?" so he pipes up. He's like, "Well, I know a guy." Next thing I know, Paul Wall is fucking FaceTiming me with his bling bling teeth and everything. He's like, "Oh my God, motherfucker, this is the coolest fucking shit. You're gonna win the Innovators Award of the Year."
That's awesome.
Oh my God, dude. Blah, blah, blah. And he was just like, I was like, and I'm like, dude, I have him on speaker, and my 13-year-old girl is like learning new cuss words, right?
Nice.
And I'm like, I was like, hey, Paul, give me a second. I need to step outside.
Yeah, I feel like I taught Judd's son some curse words in the past.
Yeah.
But anyway, so but I mean, Paul's done stuff with Kanye. He's tight with Snoop. Like, and again, I'm not from the rap scene, but if anybody is, you know exactly who I'm talking about. He's pretty big.
Well, in preparation of doing this, I was going to ask you: do you branch out into that other side of, or various different sides of the, entertainment world? There's so many that the gospel community is very.
Dude, yeah, so I'm a marketing guy, right? So you want to talk target market shit, man. Yeah, not just cover bands. Churches are going to eat this shit up, right? Because a lot of them are hobbyists, right? They're not professional musicians.
Right.
Yeah, or they're
doing
recovered.
They're doing it for free.
They're in
as
the
part of
recovery, crew, and they're a guitarist, and they're playing.
They don't care at all.
Yeah, so churches are a huge market for us, man. AV companies are a
and
huge
they got
market.
money. They got money.
Venues, like I was in Nashville a few months ago, and every fucking player had an iPad or an iPhone in his face because they take requests and stuff. And so, but you know what they told me though? In Nashville, they said, "Dude, we're not going to lug around this 25-pound cabinet, this box." And he's like, "But you need to talk to the club owner and make it a part of the stage and preload it with 10,000 songs. So when we get a request for freaking Honeybee by Blake Shelton, we can pull it up and it'll come up."
Like a guide that's, if you want this song, you type in 774.
So Tori, real quick, are you gonna? I assume down the road, are you gonna license the?
Why don't you talk into the mic, Raphael, and ask that question again?
Mic, well, makes sense.
Jesus Christ!
Anyway, are you
Talk
gonna,
louder.
Raphael, you're good, man. What you got?
Are you going to make this available at like Guitar Center, like music stores?
Yeah, that's a great question, man. So Guitar Center, probably not, and here's why, right? First of all, it's a tough nut to crack. It's hard to get into. It's kind of a niche thing, right? Your typical casual player is not going to use this. This is for performers. Now, we might be in Sweetwater at some point. I'm kind of working that angle.
I like Sweetwater.
Yeah, Sweetwater's good.
I use Sweetwater.
Musician's friend.
Musician's friend. Well, that's also Guitar Center, but
Is it?
But it is. Yeah, they're the same company.
I didn't know that.
It says Musician's Friend Guitar Center right at the bottom of it.
I've never seen
I'm
that.
just saying.
I've never seen that. Honestly, I've been a musician. I never.
No, but the short of it is, AV companies to make it a part of their arsenal, right? They already got the fancy speakers and the monitors and wireless.
But you have it on Amazon, so you will be retail available technically. You know.
Yeah.
So some kid who has garage band, he can see Ted. You just guitarist having one, and he can emulate that and buy one.
Yeah, man, you're right. Get some celebrity endorsements.
Are we allowed to ask you what the price is as of 2025?
So yeah, the retail price for this, just full disclosure, I'm gonna just put it out there, right? You get the box, you get the shatterproof shield, you get a magnetic cover, you get a keyboard because maybe you need to edit your set list or your songs on the fly.
A keyboard, a computer keyboard, yeah.
Yeah, basic computer keyboard with a trackpad. So if you need to go out the internet or whatever, you can still kind of move around with your trackpad. Foot pedal obviously is included, so the whole bundle deal, including shipping, retails for $14.99. But normally we're running a special where it's around $12.99. So,
nice. And if you mention the code TASK,
and then
you get 10% off.
You get 10% off.
TSK.
Even if we're running a sale,
TASK.
as long as it's not Black Friday or Cyber Monday, if we're running a sale, you'll get the 10% off by plugging in that promo code TASK. Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah, I was.
But so many cool features, man. Now, Dan, you asked earlier about the $1,000 tip.
Yes, thank you.
I did not answer you because we kept getting all of our ADD kept squirreling on us. We just kept squirrel.
Shiny things.
Yes. So do you guys want to hear about the $1,000 tip we got? One
yeah,
night?
sure.
I want you to send me one of those shots of whatever you're drinking. Send that through the computer.
I don't know why I just put my glass up to the camera because my camera's not turned on right now. So
no, good. I can't see you. I'm looking at a picture of nothing just to keep my eyes.
Okay.
That was good.
This is what I was trying to do right here. Okay.
Nice. So, cheers. Holding it up. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm jealous.
This is my 90 proof rye whiskey here.
I let this other guy that's on the podcast. I let him stay in this house, and he gives me less money for rent than what the electric bill is. I don't know why I do it, but he doesn't even stock the house with like drinks. I'm like, I show up, I'm like, I got bottled water. That's it.
But he drinks your drinks though.
Drinks my drinks. Oh yeah, I had a whole case of Yingling in there. I come back, I'm like, there's 2 left, and they're not there anymore.
So
I don't know what happened to them.
That $1,000 tip you were talking about.
$1,000 tip, Tori.
Yeah. So this is wild. We did not see this coming. All right. So this is about 2 years ago. We're doing our thing on the weekend. We're just playing at some local shithole, right? And this is the 80s band. We're playing Rebel Yell, Don't Stop Believing, all the top 40 bullshit from the 80s. And we're just hanging up a good time. I'm going on break. My sound guy runs up to me. He's like, Tori, he goes, can you connect to Venmo? I go, well, yeah, what's going on? He goes, dude, a lady said she just tipped $1,000 and she wants to make sure it went through. And I'm like, dude, that's not funny, man. Just go back to being a sound engineer, okay? I don't. He's like, no, I'm fucking serious. And I'm like, all right, give me a second. Let me connect. And boom, boom.
$1,000 is normally that could be more than what the club's paying you to play.
It was,
which is not. It's not very
definitely,
common.
It was definitely more.
In those days, 800 to 1,200 was probably a good show. He was
that place is no longer a business, but I don't mind to say he was kind of a cheap bastard. But anyway, we were it's 2 or 3 years ago. And so sure enough, I connect and it says, boom, it said, you just got $1,000 from Venmo. And I'm like, holy shit.
Wow.
Dude, it's real. And so I'm like, well, where is she? I need to go thank her. Where the hell is she? And so he points me over to her table and she was gone. Well, she was outside, talking to some people. But I talked to her friends. I'm like, what's the story? What's $1,000? What happened? And she's like, well, I got to share with you that her husband passed away.
I was, oh my God, I didn't want to spoil your story, but I was literally going to say something like that.
And they said that this is her first outing, her first time with
and
the
you
girls.
played their song or whatever.
Yeah.
And she said she was having the best time. She's grinning ear to ear. She's having such a good time. She says, you know what? I really want to do something special for the band.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Nice.
And she felt compelled, and she literally, and thank God we had the QR code that said, hey, you want to tip us? Scan this QR code.
Jeez.
Again, how do we not have that technology? It's not like she had $1,000 cash on her hand.
Right.
That's
right.
great.
Right.
So anybody out there, especially you cover band guys or tribute band, have a fucking QR code that's tied to your Venmo, okay?
Jeez.
I'm just saying, do it.
Very nice.
You never know
Yeah.
that lady whose husband passed away and she's having such a great time, she wants to tip you $1,000.
Yeah.
And so, but that really happened, and it was very touching. And at the end of the day, dude, I was like, dude, $1,000 is nice. I ain't gonna lie, but what was more like really a punch in the gut in a good way. What was really touching was that we were able to move her by our performance.
Yeah.
It's just such a thankless job.
I could totally
we're
see.
trying to keep the spirit of music alive. We're playing stuff that we've been playing every freaking weekend. We're burnt out, but we smile. We got a poker face. We're doing our thing. And they fucking loved it. And
I say art is something that makes you feel something.
Absolutely. And even if it's somebody else's art, we're just a replica, right? We're just a replica of that art.
It is technically it's new art. Even if you utilize a shape and a circle or whatever somebody else drew, you put your twist to it.
Yeah.
It's a new art.
It was, but you know, it was validation. I mean, it gave everybody a good feeling. God dang, we're doing something right. And it keeps us going. You know,
That's
it's
cool.
not about the money. I mean, the money's nice, sure, but
Have you always had an inventor heart since you were a child?
Man, I'm gonna tell you, inventor. I don't know. Entrepreneurial, yes. I was that kid. I remember when my grandfather, World War II veteran, great guy. You know, loved spending time with him. He had a Sam's Club membership. You guys have Sam's Clubs in Baltimore?
Yeah. We got Sam's Clubs in. We used to have. Costco is very popular.
Costco, I'm a Costco member myself. But anyway, so I'm 13, 14 years old. You know, was at junior high, and I buy the baseball cards in bulk. I buy the cotton candy in bulk, and I'm freaking on recess in the courtyard, and I'm like selling that shit for 3 times the price.
Yeah.
I was an entrepreneur as a teenager and didn't even know it. Because I could do the math really quickly, and so
that's the best way to do it. You know, you buy low, sell high.
Yeah, and I learned that at a young age. It was just kind of a self-innate thing. So
this thing caught me. It caught me because I've always wanted to create something, and I would be like I would be drinking a glass of something, and the ice would hit me on my lips. I'm like, if they could only invent something, and everyone's like, how about the straw? I'm like, don't be a dick. You know, I get the straw works, but I want something that holds the ice down. I don't want to have to suck it up through a straw. And I created like this. I was, 12 or 13. I took a fork and I lit it up, with a lighter, and I bent it around and pulled the tongs out, and it holds the ice. It sits on the glass. And then, of course, like a year later, I see something that came out like that. And
no way.
That's how.
Buddy of mine, I got one.
It was
one for
probably
you.
already invented, but I didn't see it yet, kind of thing.
But you came up with it.
Yeah, I came up with it.
Check this out.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Check this out. Here's something that I regret not moving forward with, but I really sort of had no way to create the product. I had years and years ago, I ripped all my music into my PC into Microsoft, whatever, the media manager or whatever the fuck it was.
At the time, because they always change.
MMA files or whatever, right? And so and I was sitting there and I'm looking at my car out in the parking lot of my old apartment building. And I would sit there and I'm doing my graphics work, and I was just ripping one CD in after another, and I put them all in there. But then I had no way of getting that into my car. And I had to do the same thing in the car. You could rip CDs into this thing, into the computer in the car or whatever, once I got that. And I came up, and me and a buddy of mine had 2 ideas, and this is one of them. And we were like, man, it'd be awesome if you had like a hot swappable hard drive in your computer at home. You could rip all your music into it and then take that exact thing out of your computer and stick it into a slot in your dashboard, and you'd have all that shit in your car.
Is that the iPod?
It's the iPod.
Yeah.
The predecessor to the iPod.
Exactly. But we came up with that before there were iPods or any of that shit.
You didn't have aluminum foil on your head. You should have had that when you were thinking it.
Yeah, because the reason I didn't get really excited about it is because I wasn't totally sold on MP3s yet. Like there were a whole bunch
the quality sucks still.
Exactly. There were a whole bunch of MP3,
it's horseshit.
Little file things and pen size things and flash drive size things and stuff. And I thought MP3 sounded kind of shitty until you got the file size up to where there was no fucking point, because the hard drives were still, bigger than or whatever. But it would have been at the time it would have been a spinning hard drive. Like the first iPod I had,
they were
was
great in cars.
$400 one about this big with a spinning hard drive in it, right? And that was exactly what we had envisioned, right? You just take it and stick it in the dashboard like it the size of a 8-track or whatever. And I thought that was an awesome idea, but we had and we stopped short of like, okay, how do we produce this thing? Like, this is a good fucking idea.
Well, yeah.
And it was a
Well,
great idea.
I want a vehicle that flies up in the air that doesn't cost anything. I can't. How do I make it?
Yeah, but this wasn't.
So
that's not
epic
that
fail,
complicated.
Judd. I made my sport.
You know?
I made my fork already. I did mine.
The other
you
thing,
should have followed your dream, man.
The other thing that we
this
were trying
guy
to
made
come
a
up
black
with,
box
hang on.
prompter.
The other thing
available
that we were trying
on
to come
Amazon.
up with
Yeah.
was a way of recording live shows that sounded really good in stereo. So like you could have, when we were like, oh my God, you could have some sort of hat that like resonated where it was in stereo, but the whole thing is like, you know, feels the vibration of it or whatever.
All
so you're
right.
sitting there just wearing like a baseball cap. But it has microphones in it, so you could literally hear right and left and whatever, and it would, and you'd record it.
Bone
as if-
condensing.
We normally
Is it on
give
bone
Judd a
condensing
5-minute
microphone?
limit on his. Your 5 minutes is up.
Well, I got one. I got lots.
I love you, Judd.
But dude, about 13, 14 years ago, I came up with this idea, right? I'm kind of a web guy, marketing nerd, whatever. And it was like, you know what? You know, when you need to hire a plumber, an AC guy, you know, roofer, whatever, it's like you need to lean on your neighbor's advice, right? You know, it's like, hey, do you know a guy, you know? And it's like, and this is when the internet was still kind of young, right?
Those are the best guys too. You know, word of mouth.
I know what he's talking about. You're talking about.
So I thought of an idea of a new social media platform. I called it Neighbor Heard. Like, how did you hear about this guy? I heard it through the
And
neighborhood.
it's
but called
Angie's
Neighbor
List.
Heard.
I like that.
Right?
I like that. Yeah.
And I mean, I had this cool animated explainer video and all these things. And it's going to be social media, and it's basically, hey man, the plumbers have these reviews and this and that. And I heard about it from my neighbor. Well, if my neighbor thinks they're good, they must be good, right? That was the whole premise, right? Well, as I was doing that, there's this little company out of Seattle called Nextdoor that
Nice.
was getting massive funding. And
Nextdoor was good. It used to be good. Now it's all just bullshit.
Yeah, it's all ads. But that's the neighborhood social media platform, right?
Yeah,
It's
it was
Nextdoor.
good for like 4 months.
And so, so they ended up basically taking the market share, and I lost out on that. So never got the investment that I needed.
The best
But here I am. I got a reset on life, guys. I'm going all in on the black box prompter because there's a freaking need for it. Get the iPad out of the face. Get the phone out of the face. No shame in using a computer.
I would love to be able to look down when I'm singing karaoke. Not like I only sing "I'm Too Sexy" for my shirt. That's the only song that I generally sing. Oh, and way down yonder on the
makes
Chattahoochee.
perfect sense.
Oh,
Way down
I got a
yonder
story
on the
about that.
Chattahoochee. Never knew how
my
much
God,
that muddy
I was in
water
Chattanooga
meant
2
to me.
months ago, and this drunk girl came in, and she kept. I think she was coming on.
Yeah.
She kept saying, "Way down yonder on the Chattahoochee," and she was pointing down there.
Nice.
And I'm like,
Alcohol.
I gotta go.
Alcohol.
And she was kind of hot too.
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah.
like, I'm
No,
very
you're allowed to look at my wife, but my girl. She says I'm allowed to look at the menu, but I can't order.
Right. I would have been like,
Cannot
just
order.
let me see
No.
it.
I'm not allowed to order.
So, the menu was in my face. I
Just
could
let me
smell
see
it.
Yeah, you can
But
smell
I
it.
had to walk out. I had one way.
That's
It
great.
happens. It happens.
No, it's as a performer on stage, you generally do get more attention. As a drummer, I would always get different attention than the other guys got. I would get the one. I would
I
get the.
never had my face licked. That's
Oh man,
that's impressive.
you're
Yeah.
well. It's a captive audience. I can't move. I can't like get up. Like my girlfriend's in the audience watching this shit happen. I'm like, I don't know, honey. It's just oh, she's licking me. All right, that's fun. Okay.
I remember when I first got a wireless and I was able to like during sound check,
Walk
I was
around.
able to walk.
It feels
out
weird.
to where the
it
audience
looks
was
like
going
it
to
feels
be.
weird.
It does.
It feels weird to me.
I was out there
see you
playing
out there.
guitar,
Yeah.
and looking at the stage that I was going to be on, like from the audience, from the middle of where the audience would be, and I was like, "Oh yeah, no, turn the mids up, down, whatever." And I just remember that just the coolest.
To be able to walk
thing
out and hear what it
ever.
sounds like on stage would be
Yeah,
cool.
that was it's awesome. And just being able to like step off stage and like play your guitar solo, like standing next to an audience member, is just awesome.
This guy's like, I've had wireless my whole life. This guy's big money. This guy Torrey Smith from Black Box. I can't talk. From Black Box Prompter.
And Tori, just back to your product for a second. One thing that I think is really cool versus a real teleprompter, like a news station.
Yeah.
One thing that I think is really cool is that a newscaster doesn't have control of the speed of the thing. Like there's somebody operating it.
You are dependent on somebody else.
There's somebody
Absolutely.
there's somebody
And you know
scrolling
what?
through.
And you know what, Judd? Churches are the same thing. How often does the PowerPoint slide guy fall asleep?
Right.
The volunteer, he falls asleep, and everybody gets screwed up from that, you know?
Yeah.
Same thing.
I was the guy.
I'm the guy in the
I have
audience
done
falling
that.
asleep.
I've been the guy who was like in a boring presentation. I was supposed to hit next on the fucking laptop.
man.
Oh my
and
God.
I'm like falling asleep, and they're like, Judd, you know, and someone would like nudge me. Oh, sorry, you know.
The whole thing stops.
Go to
and
the next one.
Feedback,
Like,
squeak.
Next slide.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
so
just
this is
awful.
You in control on stage. And hands-free, too, by the way. It's all with the foot pedals, right?
And the foot pedal,
hands-free.
so you can.
Yeah, no, that's like one of my favorite aspects of your product.
Well, very nice, Tori.
Tori, it's nice meeting you, by the way.
Hey,
That's
pleasure, man.
that's Raphael.
Yeah, it's nice meeting you.
This is Raphael. Thanks, man, dude. And hey, by the way, a little shout out to my fellow professional photographers. I've got a couple here in the Dallas area. Love what you guys do, especially in the live music scene. And you know what? Hey, the prompter's going to help because guess what? They don't have a phone in their face. So as a photographer, you get to show the entire performer, right? Without anything blocking their view.
I always
right?
hate that
Get
when
their full face,
something
right?
blocks their view. Yeah.
Yeah, so photographers will dig this sort of thing. But guys, seriously, I appreciate you guys having me on. I've got this young startup, and I have all kinds of stories and stuff. And I reached out to you, or Whitney reached out to you on my team, and you're like, you know what? Yeah, let's talk to this guy. Why not?
Yeah, I was like, how did they get? And
how are we gonna make it funny? I don't know.
yeah, it doesn't have to be funny. I do like my AIDS joke, but you know. I said he gives people AIDS, you know, for stage use.
Physical
God.
aids.
Kind
For
of tilted my head. I'm like, what is he
Jesus.
going on?
Any other word would have been
He tilted his head
appropriate,
earlier when I said it.
Tools.
I don't think I was recording
He
yet.
gives
I was like, am I allowed to say
Hey,
that? So you're a professional AIDS giver.
you being from Texas and Dallas and all that. You don't happen to know like the guy's an ex-hoarder by any chance? Are you a
Jesus
metalhead?
God,
Do you know?
He's not
like,
Oh man.
There's-
No,
or
no,
Marzi.
I'm not a mega metal.
it is a nightmare of music. It is.
But are you familiar with Polyphia
Yeah,
at all?
yeah,
yeah.
And yeah. So those guys are from Dallas.
nice.
Yeah. So, and then there's this dude from Post Malone that's from my neighborhood. My babysitter went to school with him.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
big money. Post Malone's got money,
Yeah.
or he had
His
money
dad-
and spent
God,
it.
and I can hear some
his
other
dad
song.
Actually, his dad worked for the Dallas Cowboys. I think he was like a concession stand guy or something.
That's not even
Seriously.
fair. You gotta spread the
Yeah.
money around.
There's being, you know, all in that area, there's a bunch of bands that are really good that are like, you know, Pantera knockoffs. And I can't think of, there's one band that they had this big, huge, heavy set singer. And I can't come up with their name off the top of my head right now, but they're awesome.
I think I know who
too.
you're talking about. The heavyset singer is phenomenal. His register.
He's got like a deep voice. There's some song that gets that like kind of sound.
Yeah, and I think it's the same guy. I think he does a Queensryche tribute, actually.
They're killer.
But yeah, there's some. But I was going to say, dude, the Dallas area is really interesting because per capita, we probably have the most covered tribute bands in any metropolitan area in the country. We probably have over 300 of them. You know, but you got to understand, you know, you take Dallas, Fort Worth, all the suburbs, we're like 8 million people.
Fort
right?
Worth.
It's ridiculous.
Little Pantera
it's
shout out.
ridiculous. Pantera's right out of Arlington or Fort Worth. Yeah, absolutely. No, it's cool, man. You know, AC/DC tribute called Back in Black.
Mm-hmm.
The lead singer. Have you guys seen the documentary called My Stupid Tribute Band?
No.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it came out during COVID a couple of years ago. Check it out. It's on Amazon Prime. It's called My Stupid Tribute Band. As a musician, you guys will get a kick out of it. But it's basically the AC/DC tribute band. And here's the kicker. Here's what's funny. The lead singer of that band was interviewed by none other than AC/DC themselves to be the next Brian Johnson and take over as the lead singer.
Oh, damn.
No, that's the way to do it.
Who ended up getting that job? Who ended up getting that job? Anybody know?
Judd knows.
What?
Come on.
Axl Rose.
Oh yeah. No, I know.
Oh
yeah.
shit.
And he
Axl. So
and
he
you know,
lost that
do you
band.
remember? So wait.
So you're definitely older than me.
So there's a dude.
I don't know that
So
stuff.
Axl Rose actually broke his leg on that tour.
Yes.
And there's video,
Yes.
there's YouTube video of Axl Rose in a fucking wheelchair on stage singing with AC/DC.
Welcome to
Yeah,
the
Wow.
True story. The show must go on. He did it.
Show must go on.
But
I
check
think-
out My Stupid Tribute Band. Those guys are great. Speaking of Polyphia, I think somebody in the band from Back in Black is actually related to the. Anyway, it's all incestuous, you know.
It is. It's interesting. I've been going to like parties where I get invited by a guitar player I played with back in the day, and like in high school guy, you know. But like now we're old, and I'll go to the I'll go to the. It feels like I'm going to a show, but like all these musicians that I've played with all over the years, it's like a gathering, and everybody kind of has played with each other at some point.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm like, that's
that's-
Ryan. He used to be my bass
Yeah.
player. Well, now he's a guitar player, and
The
and that's
metal
Justin.
world is super duper like that. Like, I mean, like the guys in Exodus, Metallica, Slayer, Testament, all those guys. And Gene Hoglan's been the drummer for all those fucking bands, and, but they've all gone around, in all those bands. I mean, Gary Holt from
throwing
Exodus
people around. If you got the
was
musician
playing guitar in Slayer until they retired, and stuff like that. All those guys they're all buddies,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
he's going to give the first person that emails me and says his name. This guy's going to send them a free black box, right, Tori?
No.
Tori.
No, he said no.
Sorry, these things are not
Where's
cheap.
my phone? I gotta send out an email right now.
We can't afford. We're starting. We got to eat too, man. We
Yeah,
gotta
no.
eat too, but
No, it's a good
But no,
starter
okay.
company. I like to promote local businesses, but at the same time, this is local within our realm of music. I feel like all
Sure.
musicians
Absolutely.
across the board here.
And it is. Hey, it is a made in USA product, by the way, guys.
Very nice.
We have
Very-
not
made in
outsourced
USA.
any of this. It's all assembled right here by a master woodworker right here in Texas, and so we're very, very proud of the design, the software. I mean, it's a good, robust box. So, but yeah, if you guys are listening and think, hey, that'd be cool, check it out, blackboxprompter.com. Don't forget the promo code TASK, T-A-S-K.
Very nice.
Get you 10% off. Yep.
Yeah, Tori, thank you for being on the I've Been Tasked with
Hey, man,
podcast.
thank you guys. I really appreciate y'all taking a leap of faith on this Dallas Cowboy fan over here.
Yeah,